Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Southern Water has been hit with a record punishment of £126 million after waste was found to have spilled from its sewage plants into the environment. An investigation by the water regulator said the company failed to operate a number of its wastewater treatment plants properly and that it manipulated samples to avoid fines. The majority of the penalty package will be paid back to customers in rebates. Our economics correspondent Helia Ebrahimi reports.
Southern Water promised to deliver to its customers, but today it emerged that it had lied to them for 7 years, polluting the environment and faking water samples.
Our ambition is to be the UK's leading water company.
Its achievement today, an industry record £126 million fine from the regulator. A 2-year investigation by Ofwat found that between 2010 and 2017, Southern sewage treatment sites had manipulated sampling tests and deliberately misreported data to customers. A rather humble chief executive showing the pressure on the radio today.
I think it is perfectly reasonable to say there was dishonesty. That is incredibly disappointing. It is not the standards that we want to have in this business, and I was brought in to make sure that that could not happen again.
Today's £126 million penalty includes a £3 million fine and a £123 million rebate to customers. Over the next 5 years, customers should receive £61 on their bill.
This is a really serious case. Not only failing to run their treatment works appropriately, but taking deliberate steps to cover up that fact is one of the most serious things we've seen.
Southern Water is owned by a consortium of private equity and infrastructure investors that include UBS and JP Morgan Asset Management. The company has faced heavy criticism for its customer service record, and last year it was rebuked by the pensions regulator for halving its annual pensions contribution while paying out £190 million in dividends.
This is a water company that has been the worst performer for a number of years, that has shown utter contempt for the customer as well as complete disregard for the environment. Accelerating climate change means that there's going to be ever more pressure on water sources and water services, and therefore we need the investment going into those services and not lining the pockets of private equity firms, basically, who are the shareholders by and large of these water companies.
Here at Weirwood Reservoir in East Sussex is the image Southern Water would like to portray. A far call from the judgment of the regulator, who today said that there would be no more chances and demanded the company get its house in order or face the prospect of losing its licence.
Helia Ebrahimi reporting.
On most water bills, as I'm sure you know, there isn't just a charge for supplying clean water, but for disposing of wastewater too. So customers, as all of us, pay for it to be treated. And yet, for 7 years, Southern Water was polluting rivers with wastewater. And even worse than that, it was deliberately misreporting the quality of that water to dodge fines. So no wonder really perhaps that the regulator Ofwat has dished out its biggest ever penalty payment, £126 million. It could, though, have stripped Southern of its licence.
While raking in money from bill payers, Southern Water deliberately misreported its sewage treatment. As some bosses took home bonuses, it failed to invest in equipment. On the Hayling ferry, this skipper is angry that the environmental impact is still unknown.
We don't know what sort of harm it'll have to the bird life, the sea life, the mammals. We just don't know. Take all their profits for this year. Take all, give them something to think about.
Southern Water is ordered to pay £123 million to its customers and a £3 million fine, meaning each household gets a rebate of around £61, spread over the next 4 years. Southern Water's sewage treatment failings led to spillage, but the industry's regulator hasn't fined the maximum or removed their licence. This company has let down its customers and the environment, its two biggest responsibilities. Why did you not strip it of its licence to operate?
The company has got a job of work to do, and it is for them to think about how...
But you've got a job of work. Why didn't you take the licence away?
We've got a job of work which we are taking very seriously. We're holding Southern Water to account.
The failings took place for 7 years from 2010. The company is under new management.
the vision and the belief around us being the best water company, the leading water company in the UK.
Southern Water's former chief is Matthew Wright, who got over £700,000 in his final year, including pension benefit. He declined to comment today. The industry's regulator says today's action sends a strong signal. But what signal is sent when, even after serious failings, a company keeps its operating licence? And even after deliberate deception, customers are expected to still trust Southern Water. A separate Environment Agency criminal investigation hasn't concluded, but we already know this private water company showed contempt for the public service ethos customers expect in this sector. Chris Choi, News at 10 in Portsmouth.